Welcome to me. Today I'm going to be talking about the senior project and how I did that. Thank you for that talk.
The beat go off?
No.
Hey, I love it, then my heat go off. Bang. I heard he do that speaking talk.
We worked for the Explore It Science Center.
Explore It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are located in Davis, California, and we actually are a science center where we take programs to schools, and we also have on-site programs relating to doing science education to schools and the community. Our mission statement is to ignite and foster curiosity through science inquiry and discovery. So we are a very small staff, so without the help of volunteers, it would be very difficult to facilitate a lot of the programs that we offer and the activities that we offer to kids and families that visit us. There's different roles that the volunteers at Explore It have, but they're all very critical, and without the help of volunteers, a lot of the things that we do would not be possible. So we really appreciate our volunteers.
So the first day that we went, we sat down with our volunteer coordinator, Alfredo Way. We talked about possibilities of what we could do as far as volunteering and getting hours and planning an event. So the second day that we went to Explore It, Alfreda contacted us that she needed help setting up the
Earth explorations.
Thank you, Martine.
We're gonna explore the Earth.
Organizing sand here. This one's from a mine on the southeastern slope of Mount Priest. It goes right here in its rightful spot. So you see a number and you next to the number.
So we organized those and put those in the shelves to start the new exhibit.
So at Explore It, there's this main exhibition room where they do all the science experiments and stuff. And then there's kind of like a side room for smaller children. And me and Zenon and much later, Juliet, we cleaned up that room and made sure the toys were clean.
Wait, cat.
Hello.
We were also going to organize some drawers with
Fossils.
Fossils.
8 drawers of fossils.
What do we want? I think I really like her. Him. No, this is him. This is Joseph the Seventh.
Fast forward a couple while later after some email exchanges and things. We had our next event, and then we scienced a bit at night during Halloween, spookily.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
So our Spooky Science Night event is an annual event that we've had for the past 3 years, actually 4 years now. It's kind of changed and evolved, but in the past 3 years, we've had our Spooky Science Night during Halloween time, and there's always a mystery that participants have to try to solve. It's a story that gets acted out by volunteers. Participants have to solve the crime. It's a forensic type crime. When the participants come, they go on a tour of the museum grounds. We have volunteers act out the storyline to set up this theme for the mystery. And then once the participants go through the tour, then they go through the gallery and try to do different science experiments to help them solve, to help them obtain clues to help solve the mystery that was acted out by the volunteers.
My daddy left me lots of gold, but in a code so I can't read it because he knows I'm stupid.
Full payment is due by midnight.
Martine.
Is this a video or?
My name's Daryl. This is my daddy's journal. He left a code in it for me where I can find his gold, but I'm stupid and illiterate, so I don't know how to read this. Can y'all help me? And freaking Daryl trying to take my ranch with his fancy smanchy mortgage. I swear it's total BS. Whoops.
We got this stuff here, right? We find the missing page of the journal. This is like proving who signed the mortgage, and like, you can see it's Daryl. Don't tell the kids. I have a cheat sheet in my hand that some other guy gave to me. So we got Morse code stuff, and over here we get to test if one of them is gold or not.
And then after that, we did the winter thing, which was in winter, after Christmas, with lights, which I may or may not have broke.
So the next event we volunteered for was Celebrate Winter, and we got there slightly earlier than expected. So we had to do setup with the Christmas lights, and we got to make buckets of slime for the different stations, and then we got to take a lunch break, and then we came back and all the volunteers were there. And we worked at different stations. So there were stations for like why we salt iced roads and how glaciers interact with rock formations and different types of ways that animals insulate during the winter. So for our senior project event, we did a educational presentation on burrowing owls. So Alfreda was nice enough to give us the opportunity to do a lecture to educate local kids on an environmental issue. So something local to Davis was burrowing owls. And so she put us in contact with
Dr. Janet Foley from UC Davis to come and speak about the burrowing owls, and she had like a presentation already designed. So we mostly just like sat back and watched the presentation.
So it's really important that we work with the city and with developers to make sure that if we develop that the owls are safe.
And Dr. Janet Foley was super cool and nice and super easy to work with. She was down to do whatever we wanted her to do or whatever we had available to us. And in addition to the lecture, we had arts and crafts for the kids.
We had these owl pellets that were provided by Explore, where they had like bones and stuff in them for the children to explore.
We had over 12 families that came, and they stayed the whole time, and then they ended up participating in the extra activities that your group came up with. When we questioned the students about the activities, they were really engaged and they really enjoyed it, and it definitely brought more awareness to the plight of the burrowing owl.
We then all split up to do our individual work. I worked with Sacramento Public Library, Colonial Branch, and I came in for a day. I did some cleaning. I did some moving things around. I stamped some books. I made some art projects, which other kids will do. Yeah.
For my individual project, we, and by we, I mean I had a group of people I was working with. We worked together on building benches for a school that was nearby my house. And the whole concept was that we had these friendship benches that if you went and sat down on this bench, you could find a friend in order to play with that day, so that the kids will be able to have like better friendships. And so I kind of helped plan out what the benches would be like, and I guided people into building the benches.
For my individual project, I worked with Reading Partners, which is an organization where literate tutors help children who are struggling to read. And so we follow a curriculum and we help kids with their reading skills. So for the first section of the session, we read to them for 10 minutes, then we go over the lesson plan, then they read to us, and then we have them answer a question to see the concept that they've learned.
For my individual project, I volunteered with my dance studio. I was given a position of assistant coach to work with our hip hop team, and I was able to like run warm-ups, run rehearsals, run conditioning, do choreography, and essentially get a bunch of coach experience as a volunteer with my own coach.
So for my individual project, I went and coordinated with Elizabeth Ramirez of the Colonial Heights Library, and they had a program in which I would read a book, give my feedback, and so that they could decide whether or not to include the book into the library. I read a book called This Book Betrays My Brother. It was really interesting, and I finished reading it. I wrote a summary and turned that summary in, and I included that I highly recommend they include this book.
I really liked this project. I really loved working with Explore It Science Center. We were very surprised when we first walked into the center about how quaint it was and how open and casual and easy to access it was. It's a really great science center for kids. It's very accessible, and it makes learning available to everybody.
So I had a lot of fun with the senior project because I got to meet a lot of new people who were real fun to hang out with. And also I got to learn a lot more about being in my community and helping out people in my community.
I'm really happy with the group that I had. We all had lots of chemistry and we worked very well together. And when we were working at Explore It, after we would finish, we would go into downtown Davis and go get something to eat.
So for the senior project in general, I felt that it was really helpful, super educational. I got a lot of experience working with science-related materials that I found very interesting. It was good experience to work in a professional setting with our mentor and the staff at Explore It, who were super helpful, and it was just an overall really good experience.
Felt pretty good about the senior project. It was lots of fun.
How did you feel about this project?
I worked.
What did it change in you as a person?
I had fun. That's me.
Groot, how do you feel about our project?
You animals!